Hello everyone, welcome to All Things Tech with Nox. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified next time a video drops. And if you're interested into technology, especially web development, you can subscribe and tell your other friends who are in the tech industry to subscribe. Okay, thank you. So today in this video, we're gonna be diving into more details about HTML so that we can have a better understanding when we are writing our code, so that we can understand when there's something we are writing, we can understand why are we writing it, what is it going to do, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. HTML, what is HTML? Firstly, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to create or write web pages. Like I said, we use HTML to write a web page. HTML basically describes the structure of the web page. It consists of various elements. The elements tell the browser how to display the content of the page. So HTML is what we see on the web page. HTML is what tells the web page what to do, how to do it, where to do it, and so on and so forth. And then we have HTML elements. HTML elements are made up of opening tag, content, and closing tag. For example, we have an example of an HTML element here. So here's the example. H1 is the I'm sorry. Okay, let me just highlight so that you can stop bothering me. H1 is the opening tag. They're also called tags, by the way. You can either say element or tag. So H1 is the opening tag or the opening element. And then my first web page is the content, and then we have the closing tag, which is H1 with the slash. Some elements consist of only one tag. They are called single tags. So we have double tags and then we have single tags. Double tags are the one with opening and closing tag, and then single tags are the one with only one tag. And some element does not have content. For instance, the break, the BR element, which stands for break. If this was a web page, this was going to be the break. This space here, this space in between these two paragraphs is the break. So if you wanna add a space between two paragraphs, you'll use the break element to do that. Elements or tags act like containers. They tell you information about the content between the opening and the closing tag. So they are basically explaining or telling you something about the what's inside the tag, about the content that is in the tag. Inside opening element or tag, we have something called an attribute. Attributes contain additional information about the content of an element. We'll get into that as we go on and on in this video. So here we have the basic HTML structure. This is the basic HTML structure. We have this doc type, then our document. Doc is the document. Our document type is HTML. And then we have the HTML, which is the closing or the root element. And then we have the head, which is a double tag or double element. And then we have body, which is also a double tag. We have the opening and the closing tag of the body. But now, because we're just explaining the basic structure of HTML, we don't have the closing tags here. We just have the element only, like the opening element only, just to explain the structure. That okay, it's the HTML, the head, and the body. That's the basic structure of the HTML. And then we have HTML elements. We have a couple of them, not even a couple. We have plenty of HTML elements. We have headings. We have H1, H2, H3. This basically differentiates the size of your text. If you want your text to be big, you're gonna use H1. If you want it to be slight smaller, you're gonna use H2. So we have from H1 to H6. Let me add H6 here. We have from H1 to H6. H6 is the smallest, and then H5, H4, H3, H2, H1. Depending on how big you want your text to be, you use this headings element. And then we have the paragraph element. We have the anchor element, which is for links, for URLs. It's for URLs. We have the image element. We have the list, which you can use when you want to list, when you want to write a list of something. I don't know, maybe a list of fruit, and then you're gonna say list UL, rather an ordered list. UL stands for an ordered list. OL stand for ordered list. And then we have the LI, which is list element. So if you want to write a list of your friends, a list of fruit, a list of tech careers, list of anything, you use the LI element, and then you choose between the ordered list or unordered list. And then we have the table element, which is for creating a table in your web page. We have the forms element, which is when you want to have a form. Let's say maybe in your web page there is a need for users to fill in their details, maybe for logging in or for registering in the website. Then you use a form to do that. The input element is for the user to it's for the user to enter maybe their name or their surname, or whatever the case may be, depending on what's required or what's the content of that page. We have select, which is for selecting. Maybe let's say the web page is for writing a test. It's a it's for writing a quiz, and then in a quiz we'll have a question, right? And then we'll have four possible answers. So now the user has to choose one correct answer. For that, we use the select element. We have the divisions. We have the div element, which is for dividing your web page. You're grouping or dividing your web page, and a span, which almost do similar thing. And then we have the paragraph. We spoke about the paragraph element, and then line break, and then horizontal rule. Break, it's when you want a space in between two paragraphs, and then like this. And then horizontal rule is when you want a line, a visible line, to go from left to right. Now let's go to HTML attributes. HTML attributes, what's that? Inside the opening element or tag, we have something called an attribute. So basically, an attribute is something that you find inside the opening tag. Attributes contain additional information about the content of an element. For instance, we do have attributes here. Our attributes, okay, we have two attributes actually. So this is the element, which is h1, and then id is our attribute. Id is a unique identifier. So this id uniquely identify these elements. and then we give it a name, which is we give it a value. This is the name of the attribute, and this is the value of the attribute. The value is h1, and every time when you write the value of the attribute, it has to be inside the double quotations. And then another attribute we have is the style attribute, and then equal sign, and then the name, rather the value, I'm sorry, the value. In this case, the value of the attribute is, because we are styling this, we are styling our h1, we are styling these contents, as we did say that attribute contains additional information about the content. So this is the additional information, which is the background color of this content is going to be red. The font size of this content is going to be 20 pixels. And make sure that inside your make sure that your attribute value is between is inside the double quotations. Make sure that your attribute value is inside double quotations. There are other attributes we have, which is the ID. We explained the ID, the class, the style, the href for putting the URL, the source, which specifies the location, the source of the file. It can be an image, it can be an audio, it can be a video. And then we have alt, which is the alternative. If let's say you want to put an image, and then your browser go to the location of the image and it doesn't find the file you are talking about, the file you're looking for, so you can use the alt attribute to say, okay, if you don't find this file in this folder, rather write this. It's like alternatively do this if you don't find whatever file that we are looking for. These are the attributes we have. And then we have HTML semantic elements. What is that? Semantic elements are HTML elements that describe the purpose of the content they contain, rather than just its presentation. HTML elements provide meaning to the structure of the web page, making it easier for search engines and assistive technologies to understand the content. The benefits of the semantic elements: they improve search engine optimization, enhanced accessibility for screen readers and assistive technologies, better structure and organization for web pages, easier maintenance and update. What are the examples of HTML semantic elements? It's the header, the navigation, h1, h2. So basically, the semantic elements are the elements that describes to the web page what this is, what this content is. For instance, the header. The web page will now understand that, okay, this is the header. It has to be at the top of the web page. This is the navigation menu. It's basically to explain to the web page what content is going to be contained inside the element. Other content elements, it's main, which is the main content, section, article, aside, we have the footer, the forms. There's a lot of other semantic elements. When to use semantic elements? Best practices: use semantic elements to structure your content. See, you use the semantic element to structure your content. So if you want your navigation to be at the top, and then sorry, and then you want your aside, maybe you're writing an article or something, you want it to be on the other side. Semantic elements can be used to do that, to structure your elements. Avoid using generic elements when semantic elements are available. Use area attributes to enhance accessibility. Validate your HTML to ensure semantic elements are used correctly. And then we have very common HTML tags which are used almost every day, or like each and every developer uses. It's the break, the horizontal rule, strong, which is to make the your text bold. We have EM, which is used to make your text italic, and then we have mark, which is for highlighting your text. And then other resources you can use to learn more about HTML is W3 Schools, Mozilla Developer Network, HTML5 tutorial point. You can use these three websites as resources for your web development journey. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, turn on the notification bell, comment so that you can be notified next time I drop. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.